Grantchester Series 11 follows Vicar Alphy and Detective Inspector Geordie Keating through another unforgettable chapter filled with murder investigations, personal struggles, and difficult questions about faith, forgiveness, and belonging. While every episode presents a new mystery to solve, the season is ultimately about how every member of the Grantchester family learns to move forward despite the burdens they have been carrying for years. The season begins with a shocking murder during a drive-in fundraiser sponsored by Bert Mills. Bert is discovered dead inside his car with several small puncture wounds to his neck that make the crime resemble a vampire attack. As Alphy and Geordie investigate, several people confess, including a journalist who had criticized Bert in the past and one of Bert's young employees. The truth eventually points to jealousy surrounding an affair and a valuable ring after an anniversary notice had been secretly replaced with an obituary. Away from the investigation, Alphy experiences an equally important moment in his personal life when he finally meets his birth mother, Mira, after she unexpectedly arrives at a church gathering. Elsewhere, Mrs. C and Kathy begin clashing over the financial records at Cecce's boutique, while Leonard struggles to find a new purpose after the halfway house becomes quiet. Episode 2 centers on the death of Cambridge student Norris Featherstone, whose body is discovered after a university initiation involving Alphy's Bible. As Alphy and Geordie investigate, they uncover fierce competition between university challenge quiz teams, bullying, stimulant drugs, and a hidden romantic relationship. The case also exposes pressure from a professor that contributed to the tragedy. During the same period, Geordie is offered a promotion that could make him chief inspector, while Alphy continues trying to build a relationship with Mira despite the cultural and religious differences that separate them. The third episode finds Alphy deeply affected after Mira suddenly withdraws from his life once again. A reported burglary at Lord Worley's estate turns into a murder investigation when the elderly man is found dead from morphine poisoning. The case reveals neglected family relationships, a devoted nurse, a loyal butler, staged thefts, and a surprising will that changes everything for Lord Worley's children. Themes of loneliness and mercy echo throughout the investigation. At the same time, Geordie moves closer to accepting his promotion. Kathy develops a growing friendship with the boutique's new accountant Mr. Switch, and Leonard begins considering a return to church work. Episode 4 takes Alphy on a journey to confront Mira directly. Instead of finding the answers he hopes for, he discovers that she has a husband and another son whom she never mentioned. The emotional reunion becomes even more complicated when, during the train ride home, another passenger suddenly dies. Alphy himself becomes a suspect after stolen jewelry is planted in his possession. The investigation uncovers a carefully planned murder involving insulin, an affair, theft by a railway worker, and several competing motives. At the same time, Leonard fights to help a troubled young boy named Raymond, while Geordie believes a stricter approach would be more effective. Jennifer Scott also learns she is expecting a baby, but keeps the news from Larry for a while. The fifth episode begins with the discovery of a homeless man's body near a gathering of clergy at Bishop Gray's residence. Evidence shows that the victim drowned after inhaling chlorinated water, leading Alphy into an investigation involving several vicars, a former missionary returning from Africa, and painful examples of religious hypocrisy. As the case unfolds, Geordie officially becomes chief inspector, Jennifer tells Larry about her pregnancy, Leonard moves closer toward rediscovering his spiritual calling, and Alphy finds his own faith increasingly challenged by both personal disappointment and institutional prejudice. Episode 6 shifts the focus toward Kathy's growing success in the fashion world after model Tilly Mayflower helps make one of the boutique's events a success. The celebration is interrupted when a private club manager is found strangled. During the investigation, Geordie discovers that Alphy has secretly become involved in an illegal poker game inside the same club. The murder is eventually linked to blackmail, a fixed gambling operation, and financial desperation. Meanwhile, Mrs. C becomes increasingly suspicious of Mr. Switch's handling of the boutique's finances, while Alphy's reckless decisions reflect the emotional turmoil caused by his mother's rejection and his growing uncertainty about his calling as a priest. Episode 7 raises the stakes dramatically after a florist connected to a string of armed robberies is found stabbed. The investigation soon leads directly to Cecil's boutique, where armed robbers take Kathy, Mrs. C, and several others hostage while demanding money connected to Mr. Switch's debts. Alphy voluntarily takes another hostage's place inside the building, placing himself directly in danger. As the truth emerges, the investigation uncovers secret affairs, betrayals, and a second killer connected to the florist's death. The confrontation ends in tragedy when Dexter Sutton shoots Geordie before escaping. Despite the violence, Alphy also begins repairing his friendships with both Geordie and Leonard. The finale opens with Geordie fighting for his life in the hospital after the shooting. Dexter continues his violent rampage by attacking members of his own family before eventually returning to the hospital. Alphy and Larry confront him there, and Alphy is injured before the final confrontation moves to the church. As Alphy faces Dexter alone, he experiences the deepest crisis of faith of his life while questioning whether forgiveness is truly possible for someone responsible for so much suffering. Alongside the central conflict, the series begins resolving the personal journeys that have developed throughout the season. Leonard and Daniel officially become Raymond's family after his father's death, supported by the entire Grantchester community. They even welcome a dog named Dostoevsky into their new home. Larry and Jennifer celebrate the baptism of their daughter Daisy, while Jennifer begins spending more time helping at the boutique. Kathy and Geordie finally confront the emotional distance that developed between them because of Mr. Switch. Although Kathy admits they had grown emotionally close, nothing physical ever happened, allowing the couple to rebuild their marriage through honesty and forgiveness. The emotional heart of the ending belongs to Alphy. Throughout the season, he has been haunted by recurring dreams in which he prays over someone close to death. During the church confrontation, he realizes those dreams were always pointing toward Geordie. As Dexter demands forgiveness, Alphy struggles with the difficult balance between condemning terrible actions and still recognizing another person's humanity. Geordie arrives and shares a story about a lonely and rejected boy, drawing unexpected parallels between Dexter's life and Alphy's own childhood. Those words help Alphy remember an important memory from his youth, when he experienced a vision of light accompanied by the comforting message that, even when he felt furthest away, he was never truly alone. That memory restores the faith he believed he had lost. Instead of allowing hatred to define the moment, Alphy chooses mercy, discovering that his purpose has never depended on having perfect answers, but on standing beside imperfect people who need compassion. The finale also brings healing to Alphy's personal life beyond the church. He finally embraces Mira as part of his family and meets his half-brother Rajesh, accepting that although their relationship will never be simple, it can still become meaningful. He also rekindles his relationship with Meg Gray after returning a long-overdue library book, asking her out and sharing a kiss that offers hope for the future. Geordie also reaches an important turning point. After surviving the shooting, he decides to step away from the demanding path toward becoming chief inspector and instead embraces retirement. Before leaving, he gives Larry his hat along with a heartfelt note telling him how proud he is. Even so, Geordie cannot resist teasing Alphy about another unofficial mystery involving a missing skeleton from a Cambridge college, making it clear that although his career has ended, their friendship and partnership never truly will. The series closes with a peaceful gathering beside the river as the extended Grantchester family comes together to celebrate Daisy's baptism and simply enjoy each other's company. Rather than ending on another mystery, the final moments focus on community, healing, and hope. Every major character finds a place where they belong, proving that family is not defined only by blood, but also by the people who choose to stand beside one another through every hardship. Grantchester Series 11 ultimately becomes much more than a collection of murder mysteries. Each investigation reflects the emotional journeys of the characters, especially Alphy's search for identity after meeting his birth mother, and Geordie's struggle to balance duty with the life he truly wants. By the final scene, the series concludes that loneliness can be overcome through friendship, forgiveness is stronger than revenge, and imperfect people can still build lasting families through compassion. The murders are solved, old wounds begin to heal, and life continues along the river, where hope quietly carries everyone toward the future.